And the overall new IFBB Pro is Tuna.
So guys, welcome back to my YouTube, and this is 2 weeks out and I'm just doing an upper body day, and at the moment training isn't too intense. I am probably at the worst stage of prep at the minute, 2 weeks out. I don't think we feel any worse than we do at 2 weeks out. It's the last final push, but I'm approaching peak week, which means it will just be pump sessions from then on, so I still need to be training hard and putting my all into training. So upper body today, even though I am still checking out the leg shreds because I'm pretty surprised with the conditioning that we've got at the minute. Really happy to be fair, but anyway, I am doing a lot of upper back focus movements, upper back, rear delts. I don't want any lower lat because I don't want that waist to get any thicker. So I haven't been doing any lower lat movements really this whole prep. It's all been upper back, side lat, rear delts, everything that we need as a bikini athlete that's gonna give us that nice popped out lat to match the glute, and a nice round delt without any, thick bis and thick tris. So that is why I am now doing front delts here. Pretty much blabbed the whole of this little workout clip, but it's just to give you a rough idea of some of the movements that I'm doing a couple weeks out from the show anyway. Plus I just want to highlight this outfit really quick because I think it's really cute, even though I am told I look like a tennis player. But to conclude, I had a really good pump up session, to be honest. Always like to finish off with my superset here of front and side delts and just showing off my somewhat pump with 30 grams of oats. Hello guys. No beeping today. Oh my days. I am 2 weeks out from the pro debut. That sounds so weird. I've also got clients who have been prepping, competing on mini cuts, so I feel like it's kept me very distracted from my own prep. And so last night I was chatting to Dee and I said, do you know what? I think this debut will be my 20th or 21st show, something like that. Pretty sure it's 20th. It could be 21 sometimes I forget a show. And I just realised, wow, that's a lot of shows that I've done over my, competitive bodybuilding career so far. Like, that's a lot. I've seen a lot of people share how, they've done like 9 shows now, or sort of 3 regionals and 5 pro qualifiers, or just something, and I just kind of came to realise, wow, I've been on stage a lot of times. So I thought it might be nice to just share some pictures of my journey so you can see how my physique has changed, and also just talk some through. Obviously I'm going into the IFBB Bikini Pro League. Also, heads up, signed 2 contracts last night. Membership is done, so it is official for Italy and London. I have not signed my contract for the 3rd show yet because I don't want to commit to it physically, have to keep going unless London and Italy both go really well and it's like I need another go. If my feedback has a lot of physique development, then I don't see the point in continuing the diet for another show when improvements I need to make could be, you know, muscularity. If it's just posing, it might be nice to try again. But anyway, besides the point, I'll look at that one a little bit later. So I started off where most people start off, I suppose, bikini. I mean, technically junior bikini, because I was a junior, so I actually did open bikini for my first show and came dead last. Dead last on my first show, so if anyone out there hasn't done well at the start, it changes. You just gotta keep going, work hard, and you'll get there. My feedback was actually structurally, I wasn't bikini, and like at that point, you know, I didn't have the muscle and refinement and toning that I do now. I was just a dieted physique on a broad bone structure. It didn't look how the other girls looked on stage, which is probably why it gets in my head quite a lot about how I'm going to look compared to those girls, because I always picture those photographs from my first ever show, which is really silly because I look nothing like that. But that's the experience I have of open bikini, so that's what I'm going to think about. Yeah, I came last, was kind of disheartened, but I had a show the following weekend where I did the junior bikini, came third there, but I'm pretty sure there was 3 or 4 of us. But still, I got my first trophy, which was really, really nice actually to have that memorabilia from that show, which I still have that trophy on the shelf in Falcon. I have all of my awards, medals laid out there, which is really, really sweet. That deep part of that shelf for me. So my feedback from the junior bikini show I got instantly, whereas my first show I got 2 weeks later. So I didn't get my feedback from the show number 1 until after my show number 2. But show number 2 was your legs, like they weren't bikini legs. And at the time, like, wellness was a class, but I wasn't really aware of it. I think a lot of people weren't really aware of it, to be fair. Just because you couldn't really develop in it, you know, it wasn't in the pro league yet. It had been established in some countries, but as I said, not in the professional league. So instead, we went straight up into figure. I competed for a few years in what's called like a toned figure and athletic figure, basically subcategories of the figure class, until you get to, I suppose, the size you would need to try and become an IFBB figure pro. So I was competing in these, I'll refer to them as subcategories of figure, because they had like smaller muscularity and conditioning requirements. They kind of just allowed you to build each year until you got to that overall point. And I did really well at those. I won my third show, which was my first figure show, toned figure. And then I did the same show the following year and reclaimed that title. And then like went up a stance in the subcategories of the figure and into like what's called the athletic figure. So it's a bit more mass, a bit more conditioning. So I moved up into that class and I did the British finals there and competed in that again until the last time I competed in this athletic class was when my feedback was about my lower body being really dominant. And I'd spent so much time on trying to thicken my top line and just train a lot of upper body. So my genetically, my body was just holding more muscle in my legs and found it easier to grow there. So I actually made the decision to try a wellness show, and my posing wasn't great. I actually won, and then I won the overall female of that day, and then did a regional qualifier to do the Arnold UK the following year, so the first Arnold. So that was my first international pro qualifier show, was the UK Arnold. I did another couple of like wellness regionals and British titles, but this was my first international pro qualifier where I was in the overall but missed out, and actually found out a year or so later that the lumps in my legs were an issue. But that's interesting, I never actually knew that at the time. After after the Arnold, I flew to Hungary and did my first international abroad show, where I also won my class there. Was in the overall with one other girl because it was just an A and a B class out there, but unfortunately lost the overall. I was motivated to keep going because I was so close that I decided to compete again the following season. So I didn't really have an off season, didn't have a break, so I did another regional because the calendar year changed from a year from your regional to the calendar year, January to December. So I did another regional, which was in March, did a pro qualifier in the UK, then I flew to Sweden. And Sweden, I mean, I look back at the footage now and think, oh, I came in over conditioned, but compared to the pros on stage, I don't think I did anymore. And to be fair, my feedback was they loved my conditioning. It was purely the lumps in my legs that lost me 2 placings that day, which was devastating because I really believed I was getting the pro card that day, if that makes sense. I took a little break. I say a little break, couple of months, and did another British finals. I then took some time off to recover. My body was getting really tired. I'd just done season. You know, I'd done the August, September, October, March, April, June, and my body it needed some time for hormones to balance out, to just have a bit of a break. So I did, and then I went back into my pro card win prep just before the Olympia, where I went out with Hostar to the Olympia 2022. I've been dieting for about 7 weeks prior to the Olympia. Hadn't actually decided I was doing a show. Had in my head that I wanted to do one, but I think I thought it would be the March shows. I just wanted to be in a better position. So I had a complete diet break at the Olympia for the whole week because I didn't train too much. I must have had a couple rest days in a row. Was a bit more relaxed with food. Obviously you still make reasonably reasonably knowledgeable decisions with what you're eating. Had a lot of chipotle on my days. I loved that. It's a chicken and rice. It was great, but flavorful. And then when I came back from the Olympia, everyone was really ill out there. Came back really, really ill. Continued dieting because I decided to do the pro qualifier in Japan. So then went to Japan, where I found out there wasn't a wellness pro card being given away. Kind of freaked out. Entered the figure, but because of my history in the toned and athletic classes, don't get me wrong, the posing wasn't the same. It's a little bit more women's physique posing, but I knew somewhat a gist. I just acted confident, went in, thought let's have fun with this, and surprisingly enough, won my class and won the overall that day, which was brilliant. And I've never carved up so much, but I think it's because I was panicking and thought I need to come in big because I don't have the figure conditioning for a pro card right now. You know, I'm slightly softer. I'd come in for a wellness look. So I decided I need to come in big and full and pump out like mad to have a chance at this. And it actually paid off. So that was my last show, which was February 2023. So this is the longest time I've had off in general. This is the longest time, actually, the longest off-season improvement season I've ever had, and it's been more a downsizing season. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, I thought it would be fun to show you some visuals, just talk a little bit about what I've done before, because I don't have every single show day video on here, and also it's nice to see my previous bikini choices, you know what I mean? It's fun to look back on where you come from and how your physique has changed, how your posing's changed, how your mental standpoint in the sport has changed. So it will be really great to put in these next couple shows next to it that are just 2 weeks away. But yes, going to the gym now, so